Guys, what's going on? I swear to God, y'all are a bunch of fucking pussies. I swear to God. Like, did you see the fucking sell off that just happened? Like, what the fuck, bro? Like, yo, let me explain to you guys something. Here's how I look at Bitcoin, okay? I look at Bitcoin as separating myself from this shit system that we have right now. This system that we have, this fiat system, is such bullshit. I cannot express that enough. I feel, here's how, I don't know if this makes sense to you guys. When I buy Bitcoin and I put it on my ledger, I feel like I have taken that value that I made with my shit fiat to buy Bitcoin, which is the superior currency, the superior store of value, the superior technology, storing your value through space and time. I feel like I'm taking something that I've made in this bullshit fiat system, sending it to my ledger where the most valuable things live on my ledger, like digitally, like not my cards, which are very valuable, my Pokemon cards. I'm talking like my ledger is where digital magic is held. And we buy this digital magic on Coinbase or whatever on-ramp you use. But the thing is, it's not yours till you put it on the fucking ledger, guys. Put it on the fucking ledger, damn it. So you can experience the power. Now I got some tweets here that were pretty interesting, and I've been meaning to show you guys this. So check it out. You've got all this FOMO. I'm going to read you guys some of this. You're naive if you think central banks will let everything just crash and burn. They're Keynesian economists. If you guys don't know what Keynesian economy is, it's basically the system we're in now. It's just the fiat system. They will turn on the printer when they see fit. All markets will boom. Bitcoin will go beyond 1 million. Now, this tweet right here is something you don't repeat to people who aren't in crypto. Your normal people, they're not going to understand Keynesian economics. They barely even know what a central bank is. Okay, so for example, I was meeting with one of my clients the other day, and I asked him just to get a little. He's very wealthy, and I just asked him what he thought. I was like, hey, "What do you think? Do you think they'll turn on the money printer again?" And this guy was like, "No, there's no way." And he proceeded to like give me a list of reasons, which I completely forgot because I disregarded it immediately after he said that. Because people like us who are in crypto, we know QE, QT, we know they print money out of thin air. And like, I couldn't believe this guy thinks that like they're not going to turn the money printer on. I mean, we all know that for a fact that that's what happens. You know, interest rates go down, people borrow more money, pump the markets. This guy actually is one of the many people who believes that they're not going to print money. Also a guy who doesn't have any crypto. And this guy's very wealthy. This guy could buy 100 Bitcoin if he wanted to. So chooses to own none. Here's another tweet. People that own Bitcoin do not give a fuck what's going on with the economy. We live like literal peasants to buy magic internet money that draws down 30 to 50% multiple times a year. This is just a fucking Tuesday. That's how I feel, guys. Like, if you've been in this market for over 6, 7, 8 years, 9 years, this is like the third fucking crash, whatever. If you call this a crash, I mean, I'm still in profit, so it's not like really a crash for me. I just bought another $2,000 worth of Bitcoin a few days ago when it was under 80,000. I bought it at like 77,000, and I'm finally at this point where like I'm not experiencing the crazy levels of FUD that I used to. You know, when I, sold my initial Bitcoin bag and ETH bag, man, I remember I had my first buy of Bitcoin was at like 13,000, guys, like right before COVID happened. Like, dude, I had 33% of a Bitcoin. So my point is I had 33% of a Bitcoin with a much smaller investment. You know, I think I put 5,000 in when it was like 13 to 15,000. So that's about 33, maybe more, 37%. Now I've regained that and more, but I initially sold after I profited, after it went to like 50,000. And I was like, all right, well, I'm good. Took out my shitty fiat or sold my valuable Bitcoin for shitty fiat. And then I just proceeded to watch everything go back up. And once again, now this is why I'm such a believer in Bitcoin and XRP, but also mostly Bitcoin, because I've seen it go up and down so many times, and it keeps hitting a nice solid floor level every time it pumps and dumps. So like it pumps, dumps at a higher low, pumps higher high, dumps higher low, pumps higher high, dumps higher low. And it's been doing that, and like it hasn't ever gone back down. I was looking at like back when Bitcoin was like $400, same thing. Higher high, higher low, higher highs, higher lows. And I've never seen it do anything else, and I don't think it's going to do anything else. I think they really are converting us to this new system, and the masses are going to get really left behind. And it's incredible because once you hear people on the street and you're walking by them and you hear them talking about crypto, you're already fucked if you don't have any. So you need to buy now when this amount of fear is going on. The fear and greed index was at like 18 for like 4 days. This is still a good time to buy. It's still very fearful. And you need to buy every single dip, even if it's $50. You need to buy every single fucking dip. Okay? What do you guys think is going to happen when all these on-ramps don't have any more Bitcoin because we hit the supply cap? Like, what do you think is going to happen? What do you think, Bitcoin's just going to stay at 80,000 once the cap is hit? No, that shit is going to fly. And all tides rise with Bitcoin. So everything else is going to fly with it. So I'm telling you, get your positions ready. This year has already been crazy, okay? Like, I don't really know if we're in a bull market or not. You know, everyone says we are, but I take everything with what people say on the internet and in person. I take everything that people say with a grain of salt, okay? But what I do know is, at this point, I feel a lot more comfortable. My entire net worth is in crypto right now, guys. Other than I have about 10 grand in my Roth IRA, which I don't put any more money in because I don't believe in this shitty fiat system. In fact, I feel like that's 10 grand that I would love to put into crypto, but it goes against my rule of diversification, and I refuse. I want to be in the system, even though it's shit, just in case, because that's earning me dividends. And then I also want to get in the new system, which is crypto. But I'd say I'm 90% in the new system and 10% with my Roth IRA in the old system, plus I have my metals. But really, I'd say 95% of my net worth is in crypto. And that's how much I believe in this shit. I have been watching crypto videos for years. I have been researching crypto for years. I've been messing with NFTs for years. I've been sending crypto, receiving crypto, taking crypto payments, buying things with Bitcoin. So this is just going to get bigger. There is no way that this isn't going anywhere but up. So let's keep going down here. Any more crypto stuff? Epstein. All right, I think that's the crypto stuff. Let's see what's going on here. Cash App will let you buy 100K of Bitcoin, and then will only let you withdraw $2,000 per week. Okay. I'm not kidding when I say this. If you're on the right side of the market for the next 30 days, I'm just reading tweets, guys. 30 days, you can change the entire trajectory of your life. I've heard that one before. That's what they say every year. Here you go. I don't believe the Bitcoin cycle anymore. I don't think there ever was a Bitcoin cycle. It was all a liquidity cycle, which was synchronized with the 2016 and the 2020 bull markets. You know, I don't know. Who the hell knows? But what I do know is that the system is definitely on the fritz here, guys. The fiat system. And if I don't know if there's people watching my channel who've only been in the market for like a year or 6 months, but I noticed with all Bitcoiners, we go through this crypto and Bitcoiners, like we go through this period of buying initially, experiencing a crash, our first crash, cherry pop and crash, completely sell everything that you bought, completely. And it cascades into the crash. And then once you see the market manipulators, remember the elites, the shadows, the people who we don't know, then they trigger the pump. then those you experience your first regret of selling. So you've completely sold your bag because you're new. You haven't experienced this kind of pump and dumps yet. You sell, you see it go completely moon, like Bitcoin. Like, it just so happens whenever you fucking sell, that's why I say don't sell, because whenever you sell, it's going to go up. Whenever you buy, it's going to go down. I don't know how it does that, how it works like that. Probably some esoteric shit right there, some spiritual shit and some energy shit. But tell me it doesn't happen to you. Whenever you make a big ass crypto buy, $2,000, $10,000, $100,000, immediately tanks 10%, 5%, 20%. And then you're like, oh shit, I should have waited like 12 hours before I bought. But that happens to every one of us when you're new in crypto. It even happens when you're a veteran in crypto. You just have to buy every first of the month. That way you have a plan. Or 20% of every paycheck you get. So like, I get paid in a little bit sporadic fashion. I don't have a normal job. So I get paid by different clients randomly. So whenever they pay me, I take 20% of whatever they pay me, however small, however big that check is. It could be $200, 20% going into crypto. It could be $5,000, 20% going into Bitcoin. And that's how I accumulate crypto. And slowly, that way you don't put 10 grand in at once. And if that's a large amount of money for you, 10 grand or 100 grand in at once, and then lose 50% of it and get scared. So the whole thing is like, is this lever of risk management to fiat, fiat management to risk Bitcoin management. So like, while you're kind of like popping your cherry with this new market, you also have to have enough shitty fiat to like wean you off the old system. It's like a drug, right? So like your dollars are like drugs, like heroin, right? So like you're trying to get clean, so you want to go clean with Bitcoin, and like this fiat's in your system, this gross fiat, and you're like, ugh, but you can't get rid of it all because then you go through withdrawals. So it's like, okay, I'll just take a little bit, put it into crypto, the clean. I'm gonna clean my money, put it into Bitcoin, little bit by little bit, little by little, and then you'll see your crypto stack growing more than your fiat stack because you're trading your time for fiat. But when you put it into the clean energy Bitcoin, it's guaranteed wealth. That's how I'm feeling about it now. Guaranteed wealth, 100% every year, 100% year after year, 100% year after year, 70% year after year. You will make very good gains, and that's what's happened every year to me. When I bought Bitcoin at 13,000, it went up to 35,000. And then every time I sold, and then that's why once it got to like 50,000 or 45,000, I was like, holy shit. I was like, and then when it went to 69,000 and then back down to 45,000, I was like, okay, there's something to this. Like, there's like, the tree gets shaken, people fall out, and then the people who stay in the tree continue to eat the fruit. They don't get shaken out. And then those people who got shaken out kind of look up at the tree, the Bitcoin tree, and they're like, oh, damn, they're still up there eating. And so like, there's strength in numbers. The more people, and it's not some people would call that a Ponzi, but it's really not a Ponzi because Bitcoin is its whole network. It's not just like a product, like a Ponzi product. Like, oh, like we're going to just make money here and then you're going to trickle down to the other grunts at the bottom of the trickle scheme. No, like Bitcoin is like a whole economy. It's thermodynamic. It produces energy. It's not just like some shitty Ponzi scheme that it's like some Ponzi scheme with stocks where there's all invisible fiat money that you have no idea what happens to it. Bitcoin's real. It's tangible. It's digital. You can store it for yourself and nobody can touch it. That's the huge difference. Remember, in the last video I told you guys, when you send the Bitcoin to the ledger, it changes things. I know it sounds crazy, but when you send it, you have to send it from the exchange to the ledger, not even for safety. So it's more, I mean, yes, for safety, but more so to get that feeling of sovereignty with your value in your house. It's not in a bank. I have all my wealth right here next to me on my table in my little ledger. Right here. If I don't sell it, I don't pay taxes. I can pay with it. I can take payments with it. The only way the government's going to know that I'm using this is if they know my exact Bitcoin address and know the person I'm sending things to. Okay? The only way they're going to get access to me is from that other person. So it's the other person you got to be worried about. But as far as you're concerned, you are sovereign. You're basically your own state when you move your crypto to your ledger. Not having a bank involved is so massive. I can't even explain it. And fuck this government, bro. I cannot tell you guys how much I fucking hate this government, dude. Sending my money to places where I don't want it to be sent. Like, dude, using my money for things I don't want it to be used on. Taxing my money that I make, that I work hard for, that I slave over every day like a fucking slave. Just like you guys, slave. Trying to get out of the slavery. Like, fuck this government. Fuck all these politicians. Fuck every single one of them. All I know is I work hard every day for my value, and I want my value stored in a place where I want it to be fucking stored. All right, thanks for listening, guys. Peace.